When you look back on a long career, you first think about the big things you've accomplished, like helping get military pilots permission to fight wildfires alongside Caltrans and their private contractors. But really, it's the small things that seem to mean the most, like this file that goes way, way back to when San Diego was a tiny settlement and California wasn't even a state. And believe it or not, I had to remind our city officials how important it is to honor our past. Campo Santo in the middle of Old Town was established in the early 1800s. It's one of the oldest cemeteries in Southern California. But when I opened this file, I had to call it a public disgrace. Grave markers falling down, wooden structures rotting and falling apart. It had become a monument to neglect. The city park department is in charge, and after my first report, they took action.
This is a historical landmark for the city of San Diego. It's an important piece of Old Town, and we knew it was important to the community and of course, the ancestors.
They call this place Campo Santo, and that means holy ground. It really is holy ground. This is where many of the fathers of San Diego were buried long ago. And a big focus now is to make this restoration as historically accurate as possible. The work is being done by master carpenter Bill Smith with input from historians and archaeologists.
We're trying to preserve all the historic features of the original parts, and so we try to duplicate exactly what we see here, and then and things that we have to replace, we replace, but things that we don't have to, we try to restore. And we try to keep as much as the original fabric as we can.
We want to be really careful of it. We want to be respectful of the history and the people that are interred here, but at the same time make it look like a welcoming place, like a place that we do cherish and that we do care for.
So who's buried here? People like Miguel de Pedro Reyna, an early civic leader who signed the original California Constitution, and lots of other early San Diegans, known and unknown. Retired Judge Larry Sterling got the restoration effort started when he called the Turko files.
I really thank the Parks Department for taking the initiative to come out here and get this thing dressed up. But still, most of the name plaques have been vandalized, and hope that they'll get the name tags replaced, and maybe the Catholic Diocese or the Historic Society can help the Parks Department find out who was actually buried here and get their names back on the places.
And since this is my last report, I deputized him to make sure that happens.
You're going to spearhead that part, pretty much like I spearheaded this part and made sure they got it done.
No, I'm really grateful for the Turko files and everything they've done on lots of issues around town, but especially this one's long overdue. Thanks a lot.
And now I'm counting on all of you to continue the fight against injustice that puts the con men, the cheaters, the corporate thugs, and the boneheaded bureaucrats in their place. I'd like to thank all of you out there for your support over the years. I wasn't born here, but San Diego became my adopted home. I married the love of my life here and raised two wonderful children. With your help, we made the Turko files a local institution and a force to be reckoned with. I'm proud of that and grateful to my KUSI family for making it all possible. I've often said I had the best job in San Diego, if not the entire state, and I truly believe that. But now, at last, it's time to move on. I'm leaving television, leaving the news business for a simpler, quieter, and much more private way of life, far from the big cities and the madding crowds. But one last point. Never forget there are more good people in this world than there are bad ones. And when you run up against a tough problem, stand up for your rights and don't back down. Tell them Turko sent you with a message. It ain't right! Thank you so much, San Diego. It's been great. Goodbye, and God bless you all.